because a lot of people have asked me about this streak specifically. Things do not happen quickly in the Frontier community. I don't want to call this a cheating investigation because that makes it sound like we already think it's cheated. Calling it a cheating investigation makes it sound like there's already significant findings, and that there aren't. So instead, this is more like an open look in terms of like investigating this streak and what I think about it. And I haven't done almost any work at all for it yet, so I thought I might as well actually stream it, because I'm going to look at it anyway. And if I think it's legit or not, I probably will make a comment about it, because people do look for insights there. So I might as well stream my findings as I go through them. So yeah, very quick history. This is a Gen 4 tower streak. Very quick history of the tower. The tower actually obviously began in Diamond and Pearl. And you notice the Diamond and Pearl streaks are much lower. Why are they much lower? This is a good question. There's a partial answer there, that the Diamond Pearl Battle Tower has this bug where enemy Pokemon have random natures, which doesn't really matter. But the major reason why they're lower is just because people have not played as much, and the best strategies were not known. And also, Diamond and Pearl lacked the Trick move tutor. And of course, Trick is a really big deal in the Battle Tower, because if we go up to the Battle Tower singles leaderboards, you'll notice that this is a Trick team, 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 this is obviously the same Trick team, this is a Trick team, this is a Trick team, this is a Trick team. Everything is a Trick team. What is a Trick team? It's probably easiest if we just actually look at Jumpman's world record. So Trick teams are quite misunderstood. I don't blame Jumpman or Peterco for this, but the party line is like, I think what people think happens with Trick teams is you just click the move Trick, you lock the enemy into a move, and then you set up on them. So like, use Trick, the enemy uses, I don't know, like Thunderbolt, and then you switch to Garchomp and you set up, and then you sweep. That's the idea behind Trick teams, and quite a lot of Trick team wins do come like that, but I guess what people don't understand about Trick teams is that Trick teams are actually incredibly difficult to play well. And we're going to see that later on when I review this new streak. It's actually very, very, very complicated to play a Trick team properly. It's even more complicated now that we have the knowledge of the decomp than it used to be back in, like, you know, around 2010 with Jumpman. Anyway, yeah, a lot of people think Trick is easy, but yes, when you play, you realize just how hard it is. So, the Trick leaderboards, like, putting it a little bit in, let's put it a little bit into context. The Jumpman record, I would say, is overall trusted, which is mostly us saying we trust Jumpman. This isn't an impossible streak. It's definitely lucky, but it's not impossible. And I would say Peterco is similar. I would say of these two top records, if one was going to be called into question, it probably actually would be Peterco. And we're going to talk about why a bit later. None of this means I think they should be removed. Like, it's very difficult to remove streaks from this leaderboard. It's not really on CISO, because these streaks have been listed for like 15 years at this point. And as we'll see, when it comes to the Smogon leaderboards, to prove something is cheated when there's such little actual video evidence of it is really hard. Like, I personally don't trust this streak at all. Again, we're going to talk about it later, but is this streak possible? Yeah, it's definitely possible. 1,000 with Mence instead of Garchomp is surprising, but not impossible. This streak is also very high for a Crest lead. In general, I would say that going past 1,000 in Gen 4 is, you need to have a seriously good team. You can't have any kind of questionable matchups like Cresselia is forced to, because Cresselia can't use the move Charm, which makes enemy Pokemon like Tauros 4 really quite a big issue if you can't properly drop them with charm. So one tier is like there's a streaks above 1,000 which have their own sort of degree of classification, and then there's sort of like the high hundreds, like around sort of 400 to 600. If you're new to Trick Scarf and you play a good team, this is probably where you come in. Yeah, most matches with Trick Scarf in general, you have a lot of easy matches and then you have some harder ones. So yeah, Trick Scarf teams getting in like the hundreds, the mid hundreds is known. So for the record, I have a record of 2160, but then I have a lot of other records which weren't as lucky or with slightly worse teams. Around the 400 to 700 range is actually very common for a streak to come in about there, even if you're playing it quite well. And then like if you think about teams that are not Trick Scarf, it's very unusual to get past like 300. Like Starmie, Garchomp, Scizor, and like other like Blissey teams, they could reach 500. It would just be very lucky if they did. These are a tier below the Cripple and Setup teams, and all of the Cripple and Setup teams in Gen 4 use Trick Scarf basically. There is another category of team in the tower which is stall teams, but no one's ever done a stall run, and they probably never will do because it's so painful. Anyway, so yeah, that's the context. So like we would be suspicious of a team like Starmie, Garchomp, Scizor where there's no trick. We would be suspicious if it got past like 400. If it got past 400, we want to know why, and we want some proof of it being played well. And then trick teams are similar, where a trick team getting in the mid hundreds is not surprising, but then once you get close to 1,000, you start to ask questions about, like, you know, is the person actually playing it correctly? And is the team actually good? Now, let's go on to it. So, yeah, a few weeks ago, Roddy posted this, which is 504. 504 is, you know, it's a good streak. It's nothing special, though. It's not really a massive outlier on the leaderboard. Let's see what he says. He wants to use a solo Drapion team with Uxie lead and Skarm with Sturdy. I mean, that's basically very close to my team. There's also a lot of the weirdness of Smogon is like people saying it's their team or it's this team. Ideas have been reused so often, I don't think you can really say any team is your own unless it's a considerably different setup team. It's weird that you play to 400. Playing to 400 with Drapion on cart, that's like at least 50 hours, if not more. Like, why wouldn't you write that up? Okay, that's his backstory. So he wanted to play with a Drapion team that had double cripple or stall into cripple or whatever. And then he went with this team. It's a bit weird. So Latios has been a known lead for ages. So for almost all of the Gen 4 history, the best lead has been either Latias or Mesprit. And the reason for this is actually quite simple. Actually, no, there's paste links. Let's click the paste link. So Latias is really good because this is basically the Pokemon with the best stats that learns the combination Charm, Trick, and Thunder Wave, which are the 3 moves you really need on your lead. You really need these 3 moves, and Latias has the best stats. The downside of Latias is Dragon typing is actually quite bad, because you get hit by ice moves and then you can be frozen. But Latias is really good, there's no doubt about that. And then the other one is Mesprit. So Mesprit is slightly worse than Latias in the sense that you're not quite as bulky. And being bulky is important because if we think about a regular game, what do we want to do? We want to use Trick, then we want to Thunder Wave, and then we want to Charm or Flash. That's quite common. So, you know, like an enemy like Sceptile lead or something, we'd want to cripple them as much as possible before we put one of these two in. So Mesprit is better typing than Latias, but worse stats. So we've known about Latios for a while because there's several things about Latios which do make it a very interesting option. First up, we're base 110 speed, which is very nice. It means that we have the option of outspeeding base 85s after we use Trick with enough speed investment. This is not enough speed investment, but you know, that's fine. We have a lot of speed for free. Because the thing about the Trick Scarf leads is that even after you use Trick, you want to be faster if possible. So a very common speed tier is you want to hit 136 to outspeed base 70s after you use Trick. And that's important because base 70s include Metagross. So after we use Trick against Metagross 4, we can then use Thunderwave. Of course, Metagross has Clear Body, so you can't lower its stats in other ways. So anyway, the high speed on Latios is very desirable. Latios is not as bulky as Latias, but it's not a huge difference. And Latios has this move Memento, and Memento is the only reliable way of dropping special attack in this game because Captivate doesn't work over half the time because they're Agendas Pokemon as well. So yeah, the combination of these is nice. The issue that we've always had with Latios is Latios doesn't learn the move Charm because it learns Memento instead. And without Charm, you know, it's a big question, like how do you beat certain threats? Certain threats are hit incredibly hard, like, you know, you really want to use Charm multiple times against some of the deadliest things in the Battle Frontier. And Memento only lets us drop them to -2, and that's a concern, I think. You can still use Flash, but you know, Latios is, I would say, worse than Latias. You might say, isn't it really important to lower their special attack? But it's actually not. Most special attackers in this game lack the raw firepower, and that's mostly because Choice Specs is a somewhat rare item. And the Pokemon that do have Choice Specs, you know, like Hypno and Slowbro 3, and there really aren't that many, and you can handle them with Registeel. So anyway, what is this theme? After Latios, it's just Pico's team behind that, which he says is very similar to Pico's team. That's true. 1 second. It's very similar to Pico's teams. So he says he prefers Latios because it's his favourite Pokemon. What you can understand about this is that, and he mentions the 136 speed. It doesn't make you a good player to say this because if you read another write-up, you know what to say. This is a problem with write-ups, is that you can just repeat what someone else says. I'm not saying he's lying, but, you know, he either knows this himself or he's just read someone else's write-up. I'll talk about Registeel Garchomp in a second. He gives a threat list, but the thing is, we know the threat list. We've known it for 15 years, what the problems are. And to generalize, they are Pokemon with Quick Claw that can mess up Latios. So like Quick Claw Machamp 3, Quick Claw Rhydon 4. And then there are some Pokemon where you can't lower their stats, so Metagross should be in this list somewhere. I'm not sure if it is. But there should also be Pinsir and Kingler. Those have Hyper Cutter. Some of the enemy Regi sets are quite annoying. Anyway, the thing is, you've got to understand about this is that this post, there's nothing wrong with this post. Like, could you use Latios and get 500 with Trick? Yes, definitely. Definitely that is the case. That is the case. There's nothing that's that suspicious about this. Let's talk about these two. So, Garchomp is the best sweeper in the game when you have limited chance to set up. And that's really important because what's quite common in Gen 4 Frontier is, like, use Trick, and the enemy Pokemon has, like, they're using a move like, I don't know, Fire Blast, or they wouldn't use Fire Blast against Latios, but they use, like, a move with 5 PP. So they lose 1 PP on the first turn when you use Trick, and if you want to switch, they'll have 1 more PP, there's 3 PP left on the move. You're not going to have time to, like, fully set up a Pokemon. You don't have time to use a move like Dragon Dance at this point, particularly if you don't want to switch into the move while it still has PP. So the reason why Garchomp is so good is against an enemy that's using Struggle. Garchomp can come in, we just use Swords Dance, and then Substitute, and then we sweep. Because at +2, we basically kill everything. And Garchomp is so fast, even without a speed boost, that we outspeed most of the metagame in the Frontier. So Garchomp is really good in any kind of emergency situation. And the other thing is that like Garchomp's typing is really nice. Like we can swap in on Thunder Wave. One of the most common moves to be used against the Trick lead is Thunder Wave. Enemies with Thunder Wave like to use it so they can become faster than you. So you use Trick and Thunder Wave, they're locked into Trick, and then we go to Garchomp and we get a free setup. There are a few other moves like that as well. We can swap into like status moves with Lumberry too, so you can come into like Hypnosis and stuff. So Garchomp is good, and Jumpman's team use Garchomp for a reason. Registeel. I have issues with Registeel. I have played so much Registeel on stream at this point in the past few years. My biggest Registeel streak ever was 700, and I've done like 12 attempts. The problem with Registeel is that you can set up quite often. You don't have rest, so you can't like, if you get like burned or something with Fire Punch, that stays, and you have no way of like removing paralysis and stuff, and you have to use Iron Head, so you do make contact as you sweep, so a lot of these contact abilities like Static and Flame Body are a very big problem for Registeel, but the biggest problem with Registeel is you set up with Curse, which makes you slower. So you have a substitute, you're behind a substitute with +6 defense and +6 special defense. You start attacking. If the enemy Pokemon crits you, and then crits you again, the first crit breaks a substitute, the second crit can just kill you. So it's like a back-to-back crit. And they might have multiple chances to do back-to-back crits as well, because Registeel does not kill very many Pokemon with +6 Iron Head. So it's often like, you know, across 4 turns, do 2 moves crit. Or do 2 moves back-to-back crit. And the chance of that, obviously, back-to-back crit is 1 in 256. But the real odds of that, because they have multiple chances and multiple turns to chain them, are a bit higher than that. So I'd say the amount of times that Registeel fails a sweep is quite high. This is a problem with Registeel. You might think, well, hold on a minute, didn't Pikachu get 2000? And he did. And this is why the Pikachu streak is not as trusted as the Jumpman streak, I would say. It's the Registeel part. If you play this team really well, what you're going to do is try and set up Garchomp as much as possible instead of Registeel. Use Registeel as a way to like stall Pokemon out of PP. And then Garchomp sets up as they use Struggle. Of course, if Registeel does faint, you don't automatically lose. Like, let's imagine, I don't know, Charizard comes out, Charizard crits the sub, crits Registeel, Registeel faints. Well, Garchomp can beat Charizard. There might be one more Pokemon after that, but Garchomp can probably win the 1v1 as well. So fairly often you still win. And fairly often as well, after you've used Trick, you might keep Latios alive. This is another reason why Memento is worse than Charm, though. You can use Charm and then swap out, but obviously Memento is a one-time thing because you faint. Yeah, I don't like Registeel. The thing is, Registeel is like a noob trap, right? Like, Registeel is a fantastic Pokemon to get 100 wins with, but, yeah, if you want to get like 1,000 wins, I would say Registeel almost doesn't work. And this is also why I've always viewed this streak as very suspicious, Bozo's streak, because Registeel is not great, and Mence is so much worse than Garchomp. You might look at these and say, aren't these teams very similar? But Garchomp versus Salamence is a huge difference. There's better type synergy here as well. Like, you don't often lock them into an electric move with Latias, but I don't like this. I don't like this. Regidon is better, true. Battle Armor Registeel would be nice. I mean, Registeel does have Clear Body, which is a great ability. So I would say, going back to this streak, you know, 500 with Registeel is not suspicious. I've done that multiple times. I think I've got 3 or 4 streaks with Registeel that went past 500. So yeah, I saw this and I thought, you know, whatever. And he put some battle videos in. We'll go back to this in a second. So, you know, this is what Smogon write-ups are. For a very long time, you post a picture, you post your team, you write some words about how you don't beat everything and there are some problems, and, you know, if they guillotine, then you try and you substitute or whatever. It is what it is. Increasingly, this is propaganda for the new leaderboard that we're running. Increasingly, we're starting to say, if you can record footage, you should probably record as much footage as possible. And ideally, live as well. Like, this guy has a capture card. And you've got to... one criticism I'm going to bring up later is that, you know, if you can record footage, just record everything. Something CISO mentioned yesterday as well is that this is a DS Lite, but the capture card only works on a DS itself. I mean, maybe this is an emulator that he replayed the battles on, but it's... You know, why are we taking a photo on a DS Lite and then playing on a DS? Just a little bit weird. But it doesn't make it fake at all. This does not mean it's cheated. So anyway, 500 whatever, okay. And then he posted this update. He's at 900. 900 is a lot more than 500. 900 is a... I think it might put you in a top 5. Because I've only got... No, it's top 6. Because I did get 1,000 with... I got 1,070 or something with Jumpman's team when I was using it. So yeah, close to 1k. We might have a look at some of these battles. Because my criticism is basically going to be... If, first up, I think 1,000 or 900 with this team is... It's lucky, even if you're playing well. The question is going to be, for me, is he actually playing well? And if we're not playing well, that's a big, big, big concern. Because obviously the worse you play, the luckier you have to get. This won't mean that it gets removed from the leaderboard. CISO might still add this to the leaderboard, but it'd just be incredibly suspicious. So he's got these battle videos. He seems to be filming past every multiple of 100. A lot of people do this. Let's go to his YouTube channel, actually. Just check if this works. I'm going to move around this bar. So yeah, 10 days after 500, he posted 900, which is not too suspicious. It takes about 7 or 8 hours to play 100 battles on cartridge for the battle tower. So, you know, if you were really dedicated, you could do 100 battles a day, and then it would take you like 4 days to do 400 battles, and he took longer than that. He took about 10 days. Yeah, let's have a look. Why aren't you loading properly? I want to scroll down. So I'm noticing a few things about this. He posted these when he did the first write-up. And then he posted all of these in the same day. I haven't actually watched this video yet. I know it says I've watched, but I have not actually clicked through it yet. So a lot of people they film themselves going past each multiple of 100. I just think it's slightly weird to do that because, like, it makes sense if you are playing on a physical DS and you can't film. Okay, you can't film. You basically never film. If you aren't and you're playing on something where you can record the gameplay, like an emulator or a capture card, it's kind of like, why aren't you recording like everything? Or almost everything. It's just a bit... I suppose you're excited to go past each multiple of 100, but it's still a bit weird. See, let's see Fufu. Let's close this for more space. Yeah, it's slightly weird, but it's not too suspicious. Let's go to the Ride-On game first. I get that he wants to like film the special moments. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird to me. And also, in case anyone is wondering, it's unfortunately incredibly easy to cheat on emulator and on physical hardware. It's just the nature of the game. It's an old game. You can back up your save file and restore it to cheat past any kind of losses. So it's a poker fan, so we know it's set 4. We know that instantly. So Rhydon 4 is a known problem because of Quick Claw, Horn Drill. You can also Quick Claw, Mega Horn, and so on. But it's mainly Horn Drill that you're scared of. Got to remember, even if you use Trick successfully, if you lock it into Horn Drill, what are you doing? You're going Garchomp then and substituting. If it hits too many Horn Drills into the substitute, Garchomp's going to be really low on HP. And Rhydon's struggle does hurt a lot. Yeah, this is a Quick Claw Horn Drill turn 1 on Latios. Unlucky. It does happen. Particularly after like 900 games. Unlucky, but it does happen. So we haven't tricked Rhydon at all. So this Rhydon still has a Quick Claw. Rhydon 4, for information, it's Stone Edge, Horn Drill, Earthquake. Those are the really important moves here. So if we go to Registeel, we can be Earthquaked and we can be Horn Drilled. And if we go to Garchomp, we can be Earthquaked and Horn Drilled. Earthquake's probably a 2-shot roll on Garchomp. Well, it's probably not a roll. I would say you go Garchomp here. I would really say you go Garchomp here. Like, it's 21 IV, but I would go Garchomp, because I think what you should do here is go Garchomp and Sword Stance, and then Earthquake. Rhydon, if Rhydon hits Horn Drill into Garchomp, okay, sure. I lose, but, you know, it's probably my best out. Going Garchomp first means we don't have to risk Registeel. The problem with going Registeel first is I don't know what it achieves. Because Registeel is incredibly likely to die, and it's incredibly likely to die while Rhydon still has plenty of PP left for Horn Drill, which means you still have to risk it with Garchomp. So I would say here the best thing to do is to go Garchomp and Sword Dance and then Earthquake. You have a +2 attack Garchomp and a Registeel in the back against this enemy trainer with set 4 Pokemon. It's not great, but it's, you know, it's very possible to win from there. I just don't understand this. Like, Ironhead won't 2-shot. I really don't understand this. I guess you can go for the flinch and the crit. But the thing is, you've got to think, if Registeel kills Rhydon, is that a good thing? Because the switch-in is going to be a Pokemon that... The AI prefers switching in a Pokemon with a super effective move against Registeel. So it's preferring to switch in a Pokemon with Earthquake, basically, that means. It could be a fire move, and it could be a fighting move, but, you know, Earthquake and a fighting move, you can't swap Garchomp in against those. And Registeel's not set up. So, like, what are we really achieving by going Registeel first? I don't understand it. It goes to the Ironhead. No Quick Claw that turn. It goes for Earthquake. So Earthquake means the next turn it's guaranteed to use Earthquake and not Horn Drill. Because Earthquake can see the kill. I guess we're going for Flinch. Yeah, it's a bit weird. So it misses Horn Drill. I think Substitute is fine, because at this point, with Registeel dead, you probably do want that. The risk of Substitute is that if it went for the Quick Claw Earthquake, we do get Substitute off, but then Substitute broken and Garchomp super low. I don't know. I think I would have clicked Sword Stance here, but it's a... I wouldn't say it's wrong to click Substitute. So he doesn't go for Sword Stance, which is fine. We know there's no Quick Claw on the back. There is Item Claws in Gen 4. And there's a 21 IV trainer. It's Gastrodon. So obviously Substitute here is really important. Without Substitute, Gastrodon just Ice Beams Garchomp and we lose. It doesn't matter that... you either kill Gastrodon in one hit, or you have Substitute up, or you lose. That's the only way out of this. So Ice Beams. And what's last? We saw at the beginning, right? It's Feraligatr. Yeah, it's Feraligatr. So it's Feraligatr 4 last. We got the Sword Stance off. It's not that suspicious. Like, he played okay. I just think going Registeel was weird. Does he actually say anything about this guy? I want to see if he says something about this game. Got to be careful about your language here. It is recorded on a battle record, but it was not recorded live. It was not recorded mid-streak, right? Let's go back to his YouTube channel. Yeah, let's go here. I mean, this is more likely to have misplays because it's earlier in the streak. Does this have no sound? Okay, let's go back to the sound. Okay, so we're showing the team, that's fine. I ain't gonna put this on like 1.75. This Gen 4 is so slow. Actually, let's put it on ×2. Impatience. Hurry up. He's playing on Platinum, which is fine. There's no difference between Platinum and Heart Gold. So it's Camper. So it's Flareon 4. So Flareon 4 should always use Bite. You would always trick that. Yeah, so what you should do here, really, is full stall Bite and then set up on this struggle with Garchomp. Yeah, Latias would take less damage in this. It's fine though. It's like Latios is not the reason why I'm thinking. So he did go for the Memento. I think I've never played with Latios. I've obviously a big thing about this team is that, like, I forgot to mention this. Why isn't Latios Uxie? Because Uxie doesn't attract ice moves. Uxie learns all of these moves, and Uxie has higher defenses, and it can still reach 136. Slightly strict. It's just weird that he's playing with Latios. Actually, I forgot to mention that earlier. But yeah, I think there was a. You could argue here that instead of using Memento against Flareon, we keep Memento, we keep Latios alive in case something later on kills Garchomp or kills Registeel if he goes to the Registeel setup. Okay, so he's going straight to Garchomp. There's no reason not to stall out Bite apart from the fact that Bite is 25 PP and takes ages, which I do respect. So another big thing here is that we do not need to get to +6. Not against a set 4 trainer, because there's no Skarmory 1. There's no Lucario 1 on a set 4 trainer. So he doesn't need the Swords Dance again here. Does he know that? No, he doesn't. Okay, well, yeah, again, it's a detail, but it's wrong. Risking being crit again by using that additional move. It is actually Lucario, but obviously it's Lucario 4. Not stalling out Bite is not that suspicious. I would say not knowing at the Swords Dance setup is, you know, again, trick teams are hard to play. They're much harder than people think. And it's Crobat 4, so he'll beat that. That's fine. This is common. It is common for Garchomp to sweep. Garchomp is good at sweeping. So yeah, that was not an interesting game. Flareon 4, you should always beat that on lead. Basically always. Slightly more interesting. So, just thinking about how much Latios changes as compared to like my usual leads. I don't think Lucario 3 would one-shot with a crit Shadow Claw. Because we are running like really high. Yeah, we're almost max defense. So that doesn't matter. There is Ice Punch from Lucario 2, which is a massive pain. Ice Punch can, of course, freeze Registeel, but again, you can't do anything about that. You still use Trick. It would be I think it would be a mistake to use Memento. I don't think you can let Lucario have free move choice He needs to lock himself into a move. Lucario 4 will go Dragon Pulse, obviously, and Lucario 1 will go Flash Cannon. Yeah. Let's see what he does. Something I'm going to criticize here is that he's playing too quickly. Which is, it might sound strange, but if he's only got a few hundred matches of experience, he's playing too quickly. He should be thinking more about this. So I actually skipped. I actually didn't read. It's Scope Lens, that's fine. Scope Lens Lucario 2. You can definitely swap to Registeel here. The reason why you might not want to swap to Registeel is because it gives 2 chances for Ice Punch to freeze. I think it's still correct though. There's no reason to T-Wave a Memento here. I think we want to keep Latios alive as much as possible. Okay, we're going for T-Wave Memento. I mean, okay. Instant D4. It would have frozen. So, it's ultra boring to do this, and I don't blame him for not doing it. The correct play here is to substitute and only use Amnesia until Ice Punch is out of PP. You do not want to use Curse before Ice Punch is out of PP, because if Ice Punch crits and breaks a substitute at some point, and we've used Curse so we're slower than Lucario, then Lucario can then use Ice Punch and freeze Registeel, and then it will die to its own struggle. So, what we want to do is substitute, go for 1 Curse, then all Amnesia, and then on the final Ice Punch, we then swap over back to Curse, and we use 4 and then 5 Curses, going up to 6 Curses total as Lucario faints. That's how you play this match perfectly. I'm expecting him to just substitute and Curse spam though. And that's fine, because it's only match 200, like who cares? But at match 2000, you would PP stall Ice Punch here. And you might think, oh, you know, is it... who cares? But if Lucario has 1 chance to freeze Registeel, that's very significant. You can see that Lucario is already faster than us. So he should really be using Substitute to reset it here. But this is why Registeel is so hard to play. You have to exactly predict when your substitute is going to break, and you can't see the substitute's HP. And obviously, it can also be crit, and then the substitute just disappears. So he should have used substitute here instead of Curse, but because he didn't use Curse, you know, if this Ice Punch freezes Registeel, we might not get a setup, which is, you know, a massive blow. He might be thinking of going to Garchomp anyway, but if he's thinking about going to Garchomp, he should not be wasting the Curse PP. There's one crit, another crit breaks it. I mean, this is not interesting, right? Presumably we fully set up. He's trying to go for substitute as Lucario's fainting, so he's trying to cover for the crit, which is good. Didn't play it perfectly. Empoleon is annoying, obviously. There's a lot of Pokemon that Registeel does not do very much damage to, even at +6, unfortunately. That was a nice crit. Yeah, it was another chance. Like, really, in this situation, you substitute because you know you're about to have the substitute be broken. And a full HP substitute will never be broken by Earthquake. So this turn shouldn't really be Iron Head, it should be substitute. It's a mistake. Because like that Earthquake could have crit. Which is fine, but then what if the next Earthquake crits as well? Garchomp does not want to be setting up against Empoleon. Yeah, even without the even with the crit, we don't get the 2-shot. Registeel is just weak. Live the Torrent. We are at +6/+6. And it's Metagross last. It's special Metagross too, that's fine. Again, really perfectly playing should be to sit on substitute. But Garchomp's never going to choke this kill. Even if Registeel gets like a mega crit. So, you know, nitpicking 2 matches out of 2 were misplayed. This is a PI. It's really scary. So Kingler 2 is a problem because of the ability Hypercutter. So if you use Memento and it's got Hypercutter, it doesn't drop attack. And then the other problem with Kingler 2 is the move Guillotine. So yeah. But if it's actually worse if it clicks Crabhammer than if it clicks Guillotine. Guillotine is more likely, of course. I think you have to use Trick. What is scary about Kingler as well is if you use Trick, it outspeeds Garchomp, so you can't just go Garchomp and substitute until Guillotine's out of PP, because it can just hit the first Guillotine. I know it's Guillotine. I'm too used to how I said it as a kid. He's thinking about it, which is good. What is this, a 20-second think? A 1-minute think? I mean, it's either Trick or Thunder Wave. It's nothing else. If you go Thunder Wave, obviously Latios is locked into Thunder Wave, and you have to either stay in or switch out. You can't use Trick after Thunder Wave. Okay, he's going to go for the Thunder Wave. Guillotine misses. Are we going to swap? Who are we swapping to? Ooh, who are we swapping to? Because Garchomp gets killed by a crit Crabhammer sometimes. I guess we go Registeel, right? Okay. Definitely substitute. What's scary about this is that, you know, again, it's got 4 Guillotine. And it's got Crabhammer. Crabhammer is plus crit. Yeah, whatever. I mean, there's no great way to play against Kingler. So he's not using Curse. Okay, he is using Curse. After Curse, the substitute survives the Crabhammer. That's really important. I don't know why he went for Amnesia before Curse. That was weird. Okay, so he's going for Amnesia here because he wants to still be faster. That's fine. I'm pretty sure you're faster at -2 anyway. Because the speed, it's speed floor, so Kingler is 139 divided by 4, which is less than 70 divided by 2. But it doesn't matter, like, it either hits the Guillotines or it doesn't. It either gets Crabhammers or it doesn't. I guess what you could do is you could attack. The upside of attacking is that you encourage the use of the move Endure, if you can get it down to like 35, which will take a very long time. But you can also flinch with Iron Head, which gives you more leftovers recovery. I think it's better to click Iron Head than to click Amnesia. I think going for like 1 Amnesia is fine. Okay, we've cursed again, so now we're slower. It's actually very lucky that Crabhammer hasn't crit. Wow, okay. I don't like attacking here. I think it's going to break. Yep. You have to be aware of this. Playing Registeel is such an easy Pokemon to play as a noob, because you don't think about the substitute breaking and the fact you're slower. But to play Registeel perfectly is incredibly difficult. You have to be very aware of when the substitute's about to break. If that had crit, we'd be down to like here. And it's really scary because the crit does break the substitute and it is plus crit. Anyway, he kills Kingler. It is still a PI. Like, you could definitely say, why not just leave Kinglet alive and set up Garchomp instead of Registeel? Once it's out of Crabhammer. That'll be Heatran 4 with Explosion. Registeel is terrible against Heatran, but, you know, again, it is what it is. What can you do? Like, it's just a terrible matchup. He wants to use Substitute until it's out of Magma Storm PP. That's correct, I would say. Okay, so why didn't we Substitute again? Like, the Substitute got hit by a Magma Storm. It's obviously about to break. What if Earth Power crits here? It uses Flash Cannon because it's a random move because it's out of Magma Storm PP as the strongest move. No, it's not Bozo. I think Bozo's streak is more believable than this, to be honest. I would definitely say you want to sit Substitute more. And it's a Bomazo too, so that's a win. Okay, it hits Sheer-Cold, but it doesn't matter because we Iron Head it. Collectors are scary. They're set 1. There are several very scary set 1 setup Pokemon. Trick. It does go for Curse. So, again, Charm is better than Memento. Because if you have Charm here, what you can do is Charm 9 times and then Trick back. Umbreon is at -6 and it becomes -5 attack at that point. You don't really want to use T-Wave against Synchronize, I would say. But because he's not Charm, I'm actually not sure what you should do. I guess you go to Registeel and just kill it. You don't want to go to Garchomp, I would say. I think that could go quite badly wrong. Curse only has 10 PP is a problem. Okay, we're going Garchomp. We're using Substitute as well, okay. I don't like this. I don't like this. I'll say why in a second. We're gonna EQ as well. I don't like this. We have got the free shot off. Okay. Really, you need to lock Outrage for that to be safe. Wailord 1, I mean, it is quite easy to sweep against set 1 Pokemon. Can double team ones become a problem? Not really, because if you lock them into double team, they do die to their own struggle. In Gen 4, they always die to struggle in 4 or 5 turns. You don't have to kill them. You don't have to hit them yourself. Yeah, and Mega 1 last, that's fine. It's Idol. Typhlosion. Typhlosion, you know, should easily set up here. That's a crit. Do we live? No. Latias would have lived that. Definitely. So yeah. I mean, it's fine. Like, I would say... Like, right here... Okay, we've locked it into Shadow Claw. Let's just switch to Registeel. There's no need to let Latios faint here. Let's just go to Registeel right now. Because Shadow Claw, I don't know if it even out damages the leftovers recovery. We don't need to T-Wave this. Like, what's the point? This doesn't matter. Like, the chance of... Okay, so it slightly out damages the leftovers. Obviously, this is at +0. Like, this thing was never a threat. So we set up. So Christy is starters. So there'll be 2 starter Pokemon on the back. Yeah, that's a problem 1 because that does break the Substitute. Okay, Infernape 1. Better than the others, but the Substitute is going to be broken here. Are we going to reset it? Wow, you live. How long was Substitute up against Typhlosion? One. What's his investment? 144. I would say that was surely that was a range. It must have been a range on Fire Punch. I would definitely have reset the substitute here, but it's. I guess it worked out. And Venusaur last. I mean, that's GG, obviously. Venusaur's never beating Registeel and Garchomp. Something that is scary for Registeel to run into is the enemy Registeel with Curse. Because if it only sets up Curse, it's got Shell Bell, it will start out damaging you because it has Earthquake. So Clowns are Psychic and Ghost. Claydol. I don't think, yeah, it's very similar to Latias, right? These matchups, pretty much. I guess Claydol 3 can probably maybe one-shot with Ice Beam, which is scary. Ice Beam crit. But you're always more concerned about freeze anyway. Claydol 1 is free because it Trick Rooms. And then Claydol 4 is always scary because Trick can miss because of Lax and Sense. And because Claydol 4 can just explode on turn 1. It can just kill Latios. It is Claydol 4? Okay. Wait, was it a guaranteed Claydol? No, it was a Clown. So we're using Flash. Okay. Again, Claydol's locked into Rock Slide. Does Latios really need to faint here? Like, Rock Slide's not going to do anything to Garchomp or to Registeel. I don't like throwing away Latios like this in all these games. Hey, VBs. Yeah, Garchomp is fast in a Choice Scarf Claydol 4 as well. This is just why Garchomp is so great. Garchomp, you have to worry about like speed investment and so on, because you just go max. Just go max. It's easy. Whereas Ment has to worry about like, oh, you know, what speed tier do I hit because I'm only 120 at base. Hypno doesn't matter. I mean, Garchomp's set up. It's gonna sweep. Timid Zam, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It only matters if like Garchomp gets misses and so on. Pretty sure it's the same as the Latias matchups, really. Bright Powder, so it is Blaziken 2. Focus Blast is it is a really bad move lock because it's 5 PP. You don't want the trick back. Focus Blast crit kills Registeel and Garchomp. You do have access to Memento, but again, it doesn't save you from the crit. We're going for the Flash. I mean, you gotta remember, you know, it's only got 5 PP, it's gonna use Struggle, and Struggle can't miss. Flash feels kind of pointless here. There's quite a few Paralyze. Anyway, Substitute. I would say against a starter trainer, because you know they obviously don't have Skarmory, I think you can just go at +4. Maybe even +2. You really, really want to be at high health, though, in case there's some shenanigans with, like, misses. I mean, we've seen Bright Powder. It's mainly, like, Quick Claw and Polian. So he's going for full setup again. This is a mistake. Again, it is hard to play these games correctly, because Trick Scarf is hard to play, but what is the point of going to +6 here? We've lost more HP for no reason. What's next? I mean, yeah, I mean, that's obviously game over. Now we're at 200, going to 300. I mean, playing badly lower on the streak is fine. You do want to just win. Gold up 3. It's interesting. Like, Latias doesn't get free shot by this, but Latios does. I mean, maybe Latios is worse than I think. It is a bit painful because if this Ice Punch crits, then we don't get T-Wave and Memento off. I would also say, though, at this point, just switch to Registeel. Like, who cares? Even if Registeel gets frozen. We have Latios still alive, and we can set up Garchomp on Golduck's struggle. No crit. T-Wave off. Memento. Yeah, you definitely would go Uxie rather than Latios. Latios is just, I think, is better than... Sorry, Latios is worse than Uxie in basically every way. The only reason you would play Latios instead of Uxie was to hit the 158 speed tier to outspeed base 85s after Trick, which basically means outspeeding Articuno. Because Nidoking 2, who cares about Nidoking 2? Anyway, we set up. I mean, obviously, it's unlikely to freeze. I'm half... I want to see if he uses Trick on the right turn and Substitute on the right... Sorry, Substitute on the right turn. So we didn't reset the sub there. So this can freeze, and if it does, it's devastating. Yeah. Like, you got to think, if Registeel gets frozen, we have to set up Garchomp on Struggle. And Latios has fainted. Could definitely lose from that position. Golduck, though, goes down. Rhydon 3 comes in. This is over. Almost so free. This is over. Okay. I want to see the trainer because it matters. It's a clown, so it's any Drifblim set. We go Icy Wind, that's fine. I think he uses Thunder Wave Memento too often. It feels like he's doing Trick Thunder Wave Memento on autopilot, which is very dangerous because at some point you're going to have a match where you need Latios to come back in later. Like, the big problem that a lot of teams have is, like, you know, what if an enemy Pokemon uses, like, Roar or Whirlwind? Like, what do I do then? If you still have your Crippler alive, you can re-cripple them. You can just use, like, Thunder Wave against, like, Skarm 1 or whatever. But yeah, if you can't cripple them again, it's like, oh, damn, I guess I don't get set up anymore. And then the final Pokemon is really scary. What does it do against Ramfor? I mean... It's tricky, because I can't just say no, because he can go T-Wave. He can go T-Wave and then cope on, like, full Paralyze happening once. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. Should we figure it out right now? It's more interesting than watching him play for a little bit. It's obviously a 50-50 between Head Smash and Earthquake, like always. Yeah, T-Wave. Let's say it's a Head Smash line. T-Wave into Head Smash. A problem with T-Wave though is that Ramp 3 just kills you. Ramp 3 is Life Orb, there's no way Latios survives the ramp 3 head smash, right? So you actually have to go Memento, or you lose. How do you beat ramp 3 though? Let me see. What is he again? He's bold. yeah. This is a dreadful calc. You cannot T-Wave this. Because Ram 3 is going to be... again, it's not choice locked. So it can just Fire Punch Reggie and it can just Head Smash Chomp. I guess, like, sometimes... I guess you would sub-spam. You would say, I hope it paralyzes once in 4 turns. Ugly. You're also not great against this, right? You obviously you can't trick against Rampardos because this thing has Choice Scarf. It's mega over if that happens. It's hard to say, right? Because you don't automatically lose if you T-Wave ramp 3. And this is scary as... This is scary. I think I would Memento ramp. But ramp 3 is... It's faster than Reggie. I guess you... I think you Memento ramp. And you go Garchomp and you Sword Stance Earthquake. And you say if ramp crits me, then hopefully it doesn't crit or burn Reggie. Yeah, Uxie does so much better than Latios. Easily living. The defense investment. I mean, Head Smash could just miss. The problem is, like, when Latias faces Rampardos, you're using Charm. So a Head Smash miss means you get another move, basically. Whereas Memento, you don't get the upside of miss because Memento just kills Latios. I forgot what was happening. We're setting up versus Drifblim 3, right? I think it's a bit too nitpicky, but I think I'd actually trick back. He went for trick T-Wave. I think I would actually trick back. Just let Drifblim use T-Bolt on Registeel because it's fine. And honestly, Registeel being paralyzed is not even a bad thing. I think it's fine to do this and you substitute last. Because the substitute HP is more important than Registeel's HP, basically always. But we're attacking immediately though, so Aftermath would hurt a bit here. It's not Aftermath. It's Claydol. No Earthquake crit. Okay, Earthquake does go enough. Okay, it is crit, yeah. This is scary. There's nothing you can do. This wasn't a misplay. You do Iron Head versus Claydol. No crit this time, yeah. It's just how Registeel gets teams suffer a bit by the fact that they have so many chances to crit you. Starmie is not going to matter. Battle Girl. What does Latios do against this? You're 100% dead to a crit Dragon Pulse from Heatran 3, which is really bad. But you have the trick. I mean, you have the trick. There's no alternative. Because you can't let Heatran 4 run around with nothing. It's Heatran 1. Why are we letting Latios die? Like, we've got an Amnesia Registeel, and this is locked into Flash Cannon, and Registeel's got Clear Body. Like, I guess he hasn't learned this lesson yet because he hasn't lost. That's going to be what he says if we ask him about it. He'll just say, well, I didn't know, I've never lost, so why do I need to change anything? But why did Latios have to die here? What is the point of Flash? Like, Registeel could be being hit on every turn. It wouldn't change anything. Yeah, that's the crit damage. It's basically completely safe. I think Trick, T-Wave, Memento is just automatic. I'm not seeing much evidence of him thinking beyond that. Registeel is so bad. Hitmonchan 2 is not going to matter. Went for the counter. Classic. Arcanine. Really? Should be using Substitute there. Like, it's obvious that was going to break even without the crit. Does it matter? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, there's the burn. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of examples why Registeel's not that trustworthy, but it's fine. It's not his fault that Registeel's bad. Wait, did he use Trick? Would he use Trick against Slowbro? Like, isn't Spexbro kind of... I don't know. I guess you do. I don't like going Garchomp very much against Trick Room without the Paralyze. Because the final Trick Room obviously means that Garchomp is slower. We'll see if he gets crit by struggle. It's ironic. This is a Pokemon which you'd want to T-Wave and he didn't T-Wave it. It's just really peculiar after he T-Waved everything else. Maybe he doesn't know that Trick Room is 5 PP. Espeon. Espeon actually can outspeed. It doesn't. This is over. Yeah, this is over. Funnily enough, the psychic trainers actually are a bit more likely than baseline to defeat a Garchomp sweep because of the outspeeds they have and the fact that they have some Bright Powder Pokemon. But it's mostly the fact that like Latias and Latios set free are problems. I missed the I was talking too much. I missed the trainer. It is Vern. Zard 4. It's the same as everywhere else. You use Trick. I definitely don't want a T-Wave here. I don't like this. What if it flinches or crits Latios or both? Like Registeel can just set up here. It's fine. Air Slash is nothing. Okay, this is over obviously. Dub 4. And next Cloud 4, this is over. Yep. Primeape 2. I think that's completely fine. This is awkward though. It only needs like 1 or 2 crits to kill Latios, and you don't want to swap into Cross Chop. Like a Charm Pokemon would just use Charm, but I don't know. I guess you T-Wave. Okay, we get 2 misses. I don't like that because it could have fully paralyzed here, and then it would still have a Cross Chop PP remaining, and that would remove the substitute. I don't like that. Is Angie, you definitely don't need plus... I don't think you even need +4 against Angie. We could have been at 75% with the sub. Like, what if this crits? Don't we look silly? Okay. Hey, Jeeps. Annihilate would have been pretty good. Okay. Yeah, Angie was never going to win, but we didn't need to set up to +6 with Swords Dance. It was a mistake to attempt that. Hiker. There are some problematic rocking grounds. That's not one of them. Okay, this is surely over. It just does no damage to Registeel. Worst case scenario, it's a freeze, and then Garchomp sets up on struggle. Why is this so long? Does he get frozen? I've got no idea how much health this sub's got, but I would assume that most of the time you want to reset it. Yeah. He's not very good at resetting the substitute, which does make me a bit fishy about the streak, to be honest. I also think you'd rather... Like, it's a hiker. It's a hiker. Stab Earthquake is incredibly common. I think you want to swap the Garchomp on the struggle and set up Garchomp. I think setting up Registeel was a mistake against hikers. And we risk the Earthquake crit, but it doesn't happen. Like, if Earthquake crits you here, you're in so much trouble. What's the last Pokemon? Would Garchomp have lost? Yes. Games like this, they should make you realize that it's better to set up Garchomp. Nice crit. We gotta remember, these are the early games, right? This was for his 500 write-up. Let's keep going, though. I'm not impressed so far. Dusknoir, I mean, there's no way Dusknoir causes problems. What? Oh, he fling, of course. Yep. It doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter. It's Guitarist, there's no way that... No, you did fail. Raw. Okay. The thing is, you can just get lucky. Like, you can play this team badly and just get lucky. And you won't lose. Genuinely. Genuinely. We're not going to be able to conclude anything here unless he actually like loses one of these matches, and there's no way he'd upload a video of that, right? I must say I thought Latios would be better than this, but Latios is actually significantly less bulky. It's only a 10-point stat difference on the base defense, but it adds up clearly, and it's 20 points on special defense as well. Again, do we have to use T-Wave Memento? It's Ice Punch. It's like, does it matter? It's gonna do no damage to Registeel anyway. Let me set up. It was a crit, okay. Okay. And this is a very scary turn to be crit. But no crit comes through, no burn either. Crit there, but you can't play around crits when you're sweeping with Registeel. That's not his fault at all. And it's mime. Yeah. So Abomasnow leads, I think, are even worse than the Eye of Latias. Thanks, KMN. Glaceon, that's surely completely fine. You just trick. Get the double team lock. This is fine. This might be the first game he plays perfectly. How much should we set up? It's an ice trainer. We did +6. That's a mistake. Okay. He doesn't know how to play Garchomp properly, which is fine. I'm not sure if we're going to get any highlights. Another thing we could say about this, like if you wanted to make a case that this was cheated, 900 games. Is this the only scary one? Because he will have definitely missed Trick at some point. Maybe this is the only scary one. I don't know. Breloom, I mean Breloom should be completely fine. Yeah. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do against Spore? Because there is a correct play, I feel. What did he click there? He's clicking Flash, okay. I would not be clicking Flash. This thing's gonna kill itself too quickly. Just go, yeah. This is too late, really. Okay, it gets fully paralyzed, so we don't lose Lumberry. That could have been so much worse. I mean, this is what I thought I would see when I reviewed this. He's basically making mistakes every single game, but they're too small to actually make him lose. And there aren't actually that many games. Is it download? Is download Porygon Z4? He stayed in, okay. Yeah. I don't know about this. The chance of not getting that unlucky 900 games is going to be extremely small. I kind of wonder if you should have mementoed this, but I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I'm not really paying attention. We're gonna sweep surely, right? No crit. Hypno, I mean, it could be Hypno 4, but it's not. There's no point using Flash here. Thunder Wave's just better. Like, what are we doing? Thunder Wave is better because if it gets fully paralyzed, it keeps itself at high HP. I just don't get it. Like, okay, you lock Breloom into Spore. You lock Hypno into Hypnosis. You've got two choices here. You either PP stall them out, so Garchomp doesn't lose its Lumberry, or, actually you've got three choices, or you set up Registeel, or you just switch to Garchomp and say, I don't care, I'll lose Lumberry, I want to win in 5 turns. I guess maybe he's learned from the Breloom game. It's a bit of a strange thing to learn 600 matches in. You should have seen this before, really. And we still risk, like, what is the point? Obviously, after using Flash and T-Wave, it's more likely that we keep Lum, but we could have just guaranteed kept Lum by switching in on Struggle. I think it's fine to go Registeel as well. Just switch to Registeel. Yeah, whatever. It hits Hypnosis, but we just sub until it's woken up, and then we curse and Amnesia. You could definitely make a case, because so many Psychic Pokemon are faster than Garchomp, that Registeel is actually a better sweeper against Psychics anyway. You do want to have +6 against Psychic because of Bronzong. What are you gonna click? What are you gonna click? What are you gonna click? Okay. That was quite a long think. I don't really know why we paused there. It's just Explosion. Oh, Explosion's always such a big problem. Sucker Punch is very, very rare. Very rare. Why are we like, just go Registeel. Just go Registeel. I don't get it. Anyway. Okay. The problem is, this works when you use Charm, but this thing's still only at -2 attack. It just needs to hit twice. And it can do that several times. Anyway, whatever. It's a Grass Trainer. This is not gonna be over at all, is it? The Bomber Snow does actually come out. And Egg is last. It's right. Keep going. It's the same Pokemon, maybe? It is the same Pokemon. What are the odds? I'm absolutely certain it's a coincidence. Cheetah or no cheetah, it is definitely a coincidence. So we changed our tactic this time. We did go straight to Registeel. I mean, learning how to play better is important. Maybe past this game, he's going to start thinking more about keeping Latios alive. You do protect yourself against these crits by using Substitute. Like, Substitute does get broken by crits, but continuous use of Substitute means that you do stay slightly higher HP on average. Just because substitute caps the amount of damage you can take from a crit. Whereas no substitute, obviously you take the max, always. Not that I think he's overly concerned about Shiftry 4. We're thinking about something, apparently. Are we gonna just click sub and sweep? Or are we gonna wait for leftovers to heal us back to full? It'd be a little bit... it's a little bit risky to go at half. Like, what if Torterra 4 comes out? No. I haven't pre-watched this. I genuinely have not pre-watched this. Oh, we crit it. That's a good plan, actually. Just crit it, so it doesn't matter. No, yeah, that's well played. Okay. It's a PI. There are several things wrong with that, actually. Should have really used... We probably should have used Substitute versus that Torterra, but it's fine. Okay, it's for Explosion Regirock. It is more likely to go for Stone Edge, though. Yeah. You see, Latias lives, too. Even with the crit. Oops. What do you do here? I would say you Thunder Wave. I would say on average it buys a turn. Yep. It does mean Latios faints though, which you might regret later. Who's going in then? Because Garchomp sub lives the Stone Edge. Yep. I think you actually don't sub first turn though. I think you just Swords Dance. Because whenever it crits the sub, you just lose 25% HP doing nothing. Okay, that's a lot of Stone Edge misses. So Abomasnow in second, Abomasnow 2. Obviously because it's a PI, so it's a sheer colored set. What do we think? Like, just use Outrage. It always lives Earthquake at +6. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's sashed, but it's hailing. Bum, bum, bum. I think if you want to use Latios in the tower, make this move Draco Meteor. I think you can then make a case that Latios does things that other Pokemon cannot do. Via 4, that's fine. Ice Punch will never two-shot, right? Right? It's a 21 IV Via, so surely not. No. You are scared of the crit and the freeze, of course. I think you keep Latios alive there. I think you just go to Registeel. It doesn't need to be Memento to do no damage. I'm actually not sure if it will ever break the sub without a crit. Okay, he did cover for that. That's good though. There's a sign of someone who actually knows what they're doing with Registeel, the cover for the crit as it's using Struggle. Raptor 4. Did you miss anything important? Not really. I think Latios gets sacrificed too often. He's not using Substitute properly with Registeel, but both of these are quite advanced things, right? It's not something you learn after only a few hundred games. But properly played games are quite unusual. We're also risking Lumberry more than we should. It matters more going forward than it does. Like, in the past, every match we've seen up until now, you could say, oh no, it's a small streak, it doesn't really matter. But I think going forward, I don't think you'd make these risks anymore. Abomasnow lead, okay. This could be an interesting one. It matters a lot, because I think Abomasnow 3 is always going to kill with Blizzard and Hail, right? That's important because Latias always lives. Like, do you just Memento? The thing is, you'd love to use Trick against Abomasnow too. I'm actually not sure what you do. Let's see if he knows better than me. He does use Trick. What if, like, Trick... Choice Scarf Blizzard is terrifying, right? From Abomasnow 3. Choice Scarf Ice Beam from Abomasnow 1 also terrifying, surely. Because Registeel does not sit on those ice moves. Because you lose the leftovers healing because of Hail. So you can't just... Like, most of the time, like Ice Punch and Ice Beam, Registeel comes in, and even if you get frozen immediately, you just PP stall it with leftovers, and then you send in Garchomp on Struggle. But against Abomasnow, like, you can't do that against Abomasnow Ice Beam. I guess you can do it against Blizzard, but, like, you know, then we're setting up Struggles, and it's hailing with Garchomp. Anyway. Where's the music gone? I'm not watching. It's Avalanche locked. Yeah, this should be game over. I think you attack instead of substitute because of Double Team and Amnesia, yeah. Like, I think it's fine if Regice breaks the sub there. There's a Registeel and Garchomp 2 versus 1. Snow Cloaked. How authentic. I don't think the 500 streak is in question. I'm questioning the 900 extension. But then if the 900 extension is fake, then the 500 is also probably fake, right? Let's see what he does. I would say this is another case. Okay, it did crit and we live on 1. That's hilarious. Okay. That's good. We do actually swap here, though. I was going to say this is a case where I don't think we need to Memento. I guess it's a 21 IV guard because it's a camper. Like... Shadow Ball can crit, but it can't, like, freeze or anything. So I think it's a stylistic issue, a stylistic choice on whether or not you want to be behind a substitute or not as you're setting up. I don't think it's right or wrong. But if you're going to use substitute, you should use it immediately because it'll probably break the sub in 5 turns, I would say, as you use Amnesia, sub into Amnesia spam. And then you don't sub again, and then you sub again at the end. It's just, if Shadow Ball crits here, it's just not a big deal. It really isn't. And if it crits here, the substitute won't break, so it doesn't matter. Well, it kind of does matter, but it doesn't matter so much. Okay, so because it crit, it is quite close to breaking. I think you should sub here. Should have subbed. I genuinely think should have subbed, even though it didn't break. Cameraman, any set? I'd be interesting to watch a Magnezone match. I could ask for something. Slow, bro. No, it's not that interesting. Like, it could be Specs, but I just think you do actually trick. I think you do trick. It is Specs, bro. Okay. And it's crit. It's 1 again. Okay. There's nothing suspicious about living on 1. I think that's an authentic live on 1. Latias lives much more comfortable. I don't think Latias would ever faint to that. This doesn't matter again. Yeah, I don't think this matters at all. The only thing I'll say about this is that against a cameraman, because obviously they have the electric potential switch-ins, I think it's probably better to set up Garchomp. See, nitpicking, probably what we should do here is wait until it runs out of PP. And then go and set up Garchomp on Struggle. But the reality of playing these games is you do sometimes set up Registeel and keep playing. I would definitely reset the substitute. It's only Drain Punch though, it's not close combat. And Raichu is never beating Registeel and Garchomp. Actually, Latios is still alive in that game as well. Vespiquen 3 is not going to win. Nice crit, but it doesn't matter. Actually, it could. I've played a lot of Registeel. I played thousands of games. I have actually been almost killed by Exeggutor before. Okay, he's doing sub. I mean, I would definitely be using sub heavily in this situation. You definitely want a PP Stool Exeggutor as well, because Struggle isn't high crit and Exeggutor is. I don't think you need to resub. I think you can just sit on Amnesia, but it doesn't make a huge difference. There's the crit. Okay, but that could have crit. I don't know why I said X. I was thinking about attack order. Exeggutor isn't high crit. The attack order. I was getting mixed up between the two. Don't worry. Raichu 3. Okay. So this is the more recent one. So the first one, I think we could be lenient about because they were lower streaks. It's got max time, but I don't think there's anything suspicious about that, though. So what's scary about Infernape is Flare Blitz, basically. You really don't like to see it because of how much recoil damage it does to Infernape. Muscle Band. We're not going to see it now. I think you switch straight to Registeel. He's definitely learned this, which is a good sign. No point using useless mementos. He has not learned to PP stall moves like Shadow Claw, and then only attack once they're on struggle, though. Okay, I would sub. It is Staraptor 4. Okay. Okay, Mence free as well. That's a somewhat scary one for Registeel. Yeah. Worker, Gallade. I don't really understand T-Wave if you're not going to Memento. I think you either trick and set up Registeel, or you trick T-Wave Memento, and then you probably go Garchomp. This is a little bit iffy though. It only needs a few crits to make this look very, very silly. Again, it's a worker. I would go after 2. Okay. Heracross. No hacks from Heracross. Armaldo, that's GG. It's a waiter, so it's Dugtrio 2. You could actually probably do. Oh, we missed. Okay, we missed twice. But Dugtrio 2 is a good Pokemon to have bad luck against. It's hilarious that Dugtrio 2 did so much. No, don't Memento. It's locked into Sludge Bomb. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's locked into Sludge Bomb. I don't get it. Okay, whatever. And set 2's in the back. This is very over. Going back on sub in case Sludge Bomb. Okay. The thing is, Garchomp doesn't care about its substitute HP at all. Registeel cares massively, but Garchomp doesn't care. It just matters whether or not it's got a substitute up, really. That was really weird. Dugtrio 2, what? Yeah, Mach 2, it's a nothing battle in the end. Double Trick Miss is the kind of thing that normally makes a highlight that you talk about in a write-up. But I guess if all of his bad luck only occurred on really easy matches, then maybe it's fine. Roserade should not be a highlight game. White Herb, so we just swap to Registeel here. Yeah, okay, this is... I think he's learned a bit more about not over-dropping enemies. Breloom. Yeah, this is not interesting. You could go sub here. I actually quite like it. Okay, I didn't break the sub though. How would you even catch someone sending an emulator cheat over to a Game Boy Advance game save file? There'd be no way to catch that unless they admitted to it. Unfortunately. It's very easy to cheat on hardware in different ways. Set 4. Lantern 4. That should not be a highlight. Again, Latios takes more from Ice Beam than Latias, but it shouldn't change anything. You can go straight to... Why did we flash? This is so weird. I would have gone straight to Registeel. What is different about this game compared to some of the other games? Yeah, you can just export your save file and upload it to the physical game with a flash cart or whatever. There's lots of different ways to do it, actually. Latios did not have to faint in this match. I really doubt it's going to matter, though. It's a set 4 trainer. This is another match where really you should be setting up Garchomp on Struggle Lantern instead of Registeel. Oh, it might matter. It might matter. You're going to crit. Oh, my sense. This doesn't even count. It's like spider sense. This match was played days ago, and I know. I just know. My spider sense is going to crit. I knew it was going to crit. And now you're a tiny bit vulnerable here. Flamethrower? Oh, sorry. We actually know it's set 4. This RNG seeding. So the Battle Tower in Gen 4 has a flaw where the lottery RNG decides the opponents. So you actually know exactly what's coming up if you care enough to find out. He's in a little bit of trouble here. But no crit, no burn. There is actually a burn, but it's too late to matter. This is what happens when you don't play Registeel correctly, though. That is a questionable paralyze. And we're gonna fail. We're gonna fail it. We're gonna fail the memento because of sync. Ooh, that's a bit of a punish. I mean, Registeel still easily sets up on Psychic. But we've lost Latios for no reason. We shouldn't have used Thunderwave at all here. The thing is, you know it's synchronized because the other ability is Trace, and it tells you if it's Trace. What's he doing? Okay. Well, there's no point in using... whatever. Starmie? Starmie 2. I would have used... I don't know. I think I would. You could definitely say you're meant to use substitute, because Hydro Pump only has 5 PP, so you can cover it for you getting crit by Hydro Pump there by just substituting through Hydro Pump's out. Because Thunder is weaker than Hydro Pump, it's not going to get plus score. Slowbro 1. The reality is the AI does misplay quite heavily against any Pokemon with Substitute, to the point where you do get a lot of free wins. Entei, I mean, that should be completely fine. Entei 2, surely the biggest problem. Carmine is fine, that's a free setup for Garchomp. I don't think we even need to bother watching this, right? I mean, let's have a quick skip ahead. Okay, that's an interesting Pokemon to come out. Whoops. No. Oh, we were faster, so it wasn't Latios 3. Boo. Gardevoir tracing. Lagging Tail. Armatel, yeah. Wait. Well, I want to see something quick. Okay. That's fine. Janice, so it's Gastrodon 3, which is... Obviously, Gastrodon has sticky hold sometimes, which means you can't just use Trick on turn 1. Well, I think it's fine to actually test it here. He's paused, which means that he's doing something. Okay. You definitely want to swap here back, yeah. You might as well use Trick, really. I think stalling it out of Stone Edge is fine. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. We're not using Flash. Okay. Oh no, we are using Flash, okay. I think that's a mistake, but it's fine. I mean, if Registeel gets set up at the end of this... Okay, we're going to Memento as well. I mean, Garchomp is extremely likely to get the setup. A little bit odd. I would not have played it like this. I would not have played it like this at all. It's still got Fissure. I assumed we'd counted Fissure. Okay, Jinx free, whatever. Wheezing free. That was a bit dodgy. I would not have done it like that at all. It's strange because if you know enough about the game to know you should swap out and stall like Stone Edge, it's weird to do that but then not count Fissure. It's like a halfway play that doesn't really make much sense. Because if you're not gonna PP stall it, you might as well just stay in on turn 1 and just use Flash. Like Flash, Flash. If it crits you, you can always just switch to Registeel, switch back a Memento. You probably achieved the same amount of debuffs that way. It's Inga. Ments for... you always kill at 21 IVs?
Probably, yeah.
This is bad because, not because Mence does loads of damage to Registeel, because it doesn't really do that much damage. Mence does a lot of damage to itself with self hits. Because it's still at +0. So this is a bit scary. I don't think it's correct to use sub first. I think you should just immediately use curse. Yeah, like we're subbing again now, and like you want to get the curse boosts in before you start using substitute. And we use substitute there even though it didn't break the sub. Oh, this is in some ways even worse than the first matches.
Mega Ray should dumpster it. I mean, I can't.
Outside of being frozen. Okay, so we didn't get too unlucky in terms of Mence hitting itself a lot. And we didn't get too unlucky in terms of Mence critting Registeel. Lux Ray 4, who cares? A crit, that's unlucky, you can't predict that. It's just Registeel being bad. With Lapras 4, you're gonna crit. Very unlikely. This thing is scary because if you trick it, it can just use Guillotine, and you don't know what set it is, obviously, if it's a hiker. Expert Belts are set 4, which is fine. Yeah. This is... I would definitely sub. Okay, that's over. Medicham, it's only really Medicham 4 you're like actively scared of on lead. It is Medicham 4. No crit, though. We stayed in. It's just weird. Why would you stay in? Like, Latios is slower. Medicham 4 has got speed investment. Like, why stay in here? It's just weird. It's like he didn't know. It's scary because obviously Medicham has not been mementoed. And yes, we're probably going to stall out with Registeel, even if it does get the freeze. But Medicham struggled a lot to Garchomp. I would definitely begin with sub. It's going to have at least 2 more chances to freeze, most likely. I would actually go... I would be very tempted to go back to substitute now. I would go substitute on all of these. It's going to have another 10% here then. If it freezes here, it's actually really, really bad. It's up there with almost 01 freezing with Ice Beam into Registeel. No freeze. And now obviously, if it gets 1 crit with Ice Punch, that's another 10% freeze check. I would just sit on sub. Okay. I've got no idea what the HP is on. Aero 1. Rugly 2, that's completely free. Another nitpick actually, Garchomp should be female here. Because Latios is male. It's not a big deal though. Walrein 4. El Clasico. What are you going to use, actually? Do you go for Trick immediately? No crit. T-Wave instead of Memento is interesting. Like, Stab Ice Beam is quite serious. It should work out fine. Is he going to avoid using Curse at all until we've seen Ice Beam out of PP? Oh, did it crit immediately? A bit unlucky. Okay. I don't like this. Like, we didn't have to make ourselves slower. We could have just used a few curses and waited for Struggle to use the remaining curses, and then we never become slower, and we never risk the 10% freeze. It is actually quite a big mistake to do this across so many battles. Like, we have to assume, if he's legit, that he's playing the battles between the hundreds in the same way as he's playing these battles which are being recorded. Okay, we're going to sit on sub until Donphan runs out of... The thing is, it's still 37% to use Earthquake. You could easily run out of substitute PP doing this. I'm not sure if I disagree with it or not. You could definitely argue it's better. You could also argue... I mean, why are we attacking now? Like... I will say this much. If you're going to do this, where you just substitute on Donphan until all the fishes are used, if you do that, you commit to it. So you have the sub up. Attacking now, it just feels so wrong. Like... It's almost perfectly wrong to just... Because if we just attacked... Yes, that could backfire, but if we just attacked, we'd be at high HP. And if we'd fully stalled it out of Fissure, we would not be risking like crits and so on. But because we did neither, we've just taken a load of damage, and now we could have been crit. Lapras 4, I mean... We're gonna miss. White powder never activates when it needs to. This was an idol, wasn't it? Yeah, it's Coco. It's not Miranda or Helen, so... No one cares. Waiter. Typhlosion 2 is whatever. No one cares. That's not the interesting. Did it use Memento? He did. Okay, we're trying to set up Garchomp. But it's still got Night. I mean, I think setting up Garchomp is fine. I just think you PP stall Night Slash first with Registeel, and then you set up Garchomp while Sceptile's using Struggle instead of Night Slash, because Night Slash is high crit. Dead Knight. Dead Cheetah. No miss. You can just go Registeel on Sky Attack, it's fine. We don't need to get crit on Latios. Why are we using Flash here? Like, why? Why let Latios die? I would not have set up Garchomp against a set free trainer like that. Right, what was this, sorry? Gunfer. Okay, so it's Garchomp 4. You do have to trick, unfortunately. It really sucks, though, because this is going to die. And Garchomp could do a lot of self-damage. It's the same as the Men's 4 matchup, actually. Garchomp could do a lot of damage to itself. And a few crits into Registeel would really hurt. Go back on sub. Please go back on sub. He always subs late. It's actually really quite poor. There's the crit, but it wasn't on the correct turn for the opponent to take advantage. He's also never self-hit, which is actually good luck and not bad luck. Because it means that Registeel should get a full setup. There's the first self-hit, yeah. But this is too late. Registeel's going to get the full. Tango 4, that's fine. Cover for the second one. Politoed 4. Bum bum. Back to zone. It's not the interesting one. What's that one? Nope. You definitely trick this. Yeah. Staraptor free doesn't matter. And neither does Gastrodon free. It's Spexbo again, and you swap this time, which is better. I don't understand the reluctance to just PP stall. That should definitely have been substitute as well. Lespion's not getting anywhere. And then it's the final one, right? This one has music, but I don't want to listen to the music. It's a PI Warlord 4. Really? Doesn't Latios take too much from pump crit? It's not guaranteed to Fisher Registeel, it could easily pump. Okay, we are doing this apparently. This is risky because if this crits pump, then Blizzard crit is the end of Latios. The Blizzard is the end of Latios. Oh, this is not safe. This is not safe. No. It's got Quick Claw. So pump into Latios, into Blizzard on the Quick Claw. You fail the trick. Oh, this is really bad. Okay, it's quite lucky that this use Fisher every single turn. Yeah, literally every single turn, okay. This looks clever, but it's very stupid. Why not let Hyper Beam hit you so that you have an extra turn? Like, who cares about the fact that we've used Memento on Hyper Beam? Because it's just going to break anyway. That was a rare situation where Flash was better. This was very poorly played, considering how simple it should have been. Oh my god, he's so low. Gliscor 3 would be a disaster here. Okay. Laxon Sense? We already know that it won't happen. Latios has fainted, remember. This is a dubious game. Very dubious. Maybe the dodgiest game so far. The ominous Windlock. That is spooky, isn't it? No crit, no Omni boost, though. I think I would have preferred just going straight to Registeel, actually. Because even at +1 attack, Struggle doesn't do that much damage, it's fine. Is Latias free? Bright Powder? Bright Powder? No. No? Okay. Worker. Tyrell. Voice. Shuckle.
much of this. Was an Aggron 4.
Boyce and then Tyrell. And they both had Shuckle leads. That's really weird. Why are we staying in? It's a Shuckle. It's a Shuckle. It's not going to do anything. Just PP still bug bite with Registeel and go and set up on Struggle. This is so weird. Like, it does no damage. Okay. Gator 4. It should Dragon Dance fairly often. Yeah, there we go. That's free. Wait, did he? Why is he? What happened here? Oh, he missed. Okay. Tram 4. Just go to Registeel. Just go to Registeel. Okay. Close combat. Punished. There's always substitute there, really.
Moltres free, okay. GG.
Fling? Yeah. We've seen this one before. You played it in the same way? No. So Memento didn't actually go off, which is a little bit of a concern, right? It's not choice locked, this Hariyama, because it flung its choice scarf. I guess it's sort of safe because Revenge has negative priority, so you should never be hit by a crit Revenge without sub up. It's only sort of safe though, because with enough crits in a short number of turns you would be in trouble. Please use sub. Okay. Crit is admittedly better than subbing. Please use sub. My god. Steelix can easily win this game via crit. With a... If there's no sub up, then crit can easily end the game. Steelix is very capable of beating Garchomp, even after taking damage. I thought we tweeted Rhydon game. But this is 894. Okay, so it's just before that. I would love to know what he did against Yanmega 4. In general, what move you click against Yanmega is scary, right? Because you can't Thunder Wave because of Yanmega 3 having Lumberry, and you can't Trick. If you use Trick, you make Yanmega faster than Garchomp, which can heavily backfire. And obviously if you Trick, it's always faster than Latios on turn 2. But if you don't Trick, you can be outsped on the following turn anyway. So that makes Flash bad because of speed boost from Yanmega. So I guess you Memento. I would love to watch the match of that though, particularly after he said that it was close. And this guy got 67 in Factory, which I think is extremely, extremely likely to be fully true. You streamed on Discord as well. I mean, it's basically 100% true then. I don't know. I don't think there's really going to be a conclusion from this, is there? It could be a real streak. It is. There's a lot of very fishy things about this, though. I think it would be better if he streamed a lot of it going forward. People put so much effort into taking pictures, and this is like, you can literally just get your phone out and just stream like a recording of you like putting your phone next to the DS, and it would prove so much more than taking a photo. I completely believe this guy though. I've got no doubt that it's a real streak. For tower doubles, this is completely normal. Core is back. The like feature on post is so weird, isn't it? Pre-recorded. Yeah, everything's pre-recorded. This stream is pre-recorded. I pre-recorded this. I only pretended to be live talking about this team. We've seen all of these, right? There's a few other things, like, I would say he doesn't play very well. I would say a lot of it isn't recorded. One of the biggest things that I've noticed about him playing, though, is he just plays really quickly. Like, it is possible to play this fast, but it's usually if you know exactly what you're doing. Like, Simon appears with Gator 4, but most people don't know it's Gator 4, right? So he just immediately tricks. So does he just immediately use trick against everything that isn't on his threat list? What is on the threat list, actually? Let's have a look. These are just Quick Claw Pokemon and PI Pokemon. Okay, Yanmega 1 and 2 don't matter. Okay, he's saying the risk of U-turn. Okay, fair enough. Oh, Rampardos. Wait, he talks about Rampardos. One second. Memento. Rampardos 3, I will swap to Garchomp. What? Just this right. No, he doesn't. Would you swap into this? Oh my god. Switch between them. So you're switching into this attack. It's not paralyzed, by the way, because Memento happened before, like, Thunder Wave or anything. This is just Rampardos free, just using Head Smash. You switch into that move 5 times, and then Garchomp switch into Fire Punch 5 times. It is at it is at -2. So if one Fire Punch crits Garchomp, you will be in massive trouble. That's definitely no substitute at all. You have Lumberry for 1 burn. But switching into Head Smash 5 times, like, it takes 20 recoil damage from every hit with Life Orb anyway. So 10 attacks is 200 damage anyway. Like, this is just completely wrong. This is just a lie. Actually, this is actually the most suspicious thing in the whole write-up. Because what happens is Memento, like, it's not guaranteed to use Head Smash, but let's say it uses Head Smash against Latios. Memento, you swap into this 4 times, and Garchomp swaps into Fire Punch or Head Smash 4 times. I guess if Garchomp comes into a Head Smash, then at least it reduces that. Now, you can't swap in. No, you can't. You can't. This is at -2, remember. Garchomp can't swap into this. It's either this or this. Those are the only moves it can use against Registeel. And this is the recoil damage against Rampardos is 30, yes, but it takes 10% every turn. This doesn't work. Rampardos free is quite unusual though. That's a lie. That doesn't work at all. That would only work if you get, like, 3 Head Smash misses. Even then, very, very dodgy to do that. Like, look at this. It breaks the sub. %56 chance to break the sub with Zen Headbutt. Once it's out of Head Smash, it will randomly use Zen Headbutt or Fire Punch against Garchomp. No, that's bogus. That's just wrong. But you got to remember, people are wrong about write-ups a lot, right? Like a DDD was wrong about something with Regirock. I forgot what it was. The difference is, I guess, that everyone believes a DDD, but this is a new player. What does he mean? I guess the thing about this line, try to outsole it with... What does he mean by outsole it? Is he using Curse or is he using Substitute? That's the main question, right? Let me bring it up. Steal. absolutely fine until this happens. I would definitely be on sub for those 5 turns. You cannot let it... It would take too much recoil if you do that. I mean, gosh, like, Rampardos 4 is a bad Pokemon to face. If your plan against Rampardos 4 kind of sucks, that's fine. Because there is no good plan against Rampardos 4. I think Memento is better than Thunderwave. I did say that earlier in the stream. I can just tell that he hasn't been crit very often. Where's Infernape? Infernape 4 is a big problem. It dies too quickly. You can't go Registeel. There's no way he hasn't faced Infernape. I mean, maybe he's only faced Infernape 4 when it locks itself into close combat instead of Blitz. There's also Infernape Pre, which is not great. Where's Lapras? Is Lapras on this list? Pinsir should be on this list, but we've already talked about that. If you're worried about U-turn from Zapdos, aren't you also worried about it from Moltres? It's the same thing. Did we see a Moltres lead? I feel like we saw one. Like, this could easily be Moltres 3, and then it U-turns, and you've wasted Trick. So, yeah, I mean, it's weird to say that about Zapdos, but not Moltres, I guess. What else? There's like a load of things where you're scared about missing Trick because of Laxen Sense and Bright Powder, of course. Muck should be on this list. Where's Muck? Sticky Hold and Explosion. There's just no Muck. There's no Gastrodon as well. No, Gastrodon is here, but only Gastrodon 4. Okay. I'm unconvinced. Does it mean I think it's definitely fake? I'm just unconvinced by the write-up. But this was the write-up for 500. And really, for 500, like, getting stuff wrong on the threats is not so bad, but it's kind of much worse with 900. Particularly because he's 900 undefeated. If he'd lost at 900, I think I wouldn't care so much, but obviously if you hit 900, you quite like to hit 1,000. And what's bad about cheating is that even if he plays 900 to 1,000 fully legit live streaming, he's quite likely to hit 1,000 even if he cheated the last 900 games. I don't know. I would... It's not a travesty. Like, is it worse than Bozo's streak? It probably is. It probably is worse than Bozo's streak. Did Bozo use the exact same set as Pitaco? Like it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter which EV spread you go from Latias. It doesn't make much difference at all. Yeah, like if he dethrones Bozo, does it matter? I don't think so. I guess what I don't want to have happen, my main thinking here is I don't want this guy with his offline random video recordings with poor gameplay. I don't want him to reach like 1,500 without being called for it. I think that would be my main thing. Because he plays so much worse than Peterco does. This is not perfect gameplay at all, but Peterco does a lot better job of well, he says he does anyway. A lot better job of getting the Garchomp set up and doing it consistently. But this guy, he's obviously read the Peterco write-up, which is where a lot of his analysis comes from, I feel. This is the problem with Smogon, is that like you do a streak and then someone can just copy your team and copy your write-up and slightly change the words around, and it's like I don't know. Like if this was a completely new team and he was doing his own analysis and realized all of this stuff on his own, it would be more believable, because you would think, oh, well, he must have worked out a lot of that and that must have been coming from playing correctly. But if you can just copy a team, you can just copy a write-up, and then there's no real requirement to ever actually play the streak legitimately. Anyway. Yeah, there's Ito on the back. Anyway, I need to go. I need to go back to doing editing. Shall I raid anyone? Does anyone want to be raided in the middle of a stream like this? Can't see anyone live in Emerald. Fufu does. See, unlike you, Ciso, I actually do follow Fufu. I am a real fan. If someone wants to go live, I will actually raid you. Only if you want to. Is anyone playing Crystal Battle Tower? I need to watch the World Cup final, exactly. That's what I need to go and do. Very important. No one. Chris, are you actually going to stream? I'm not sure if you were joking or not. Okay, joking. No worries. Okay, I'll see you later again, guys. Thanks for watching.